Welcome, Healthy Home. We are at it again, connecting innovation with breakthrough products with today's leading industry experts. And today I am thrilled to introduce an individual who has an astounding resume and a leading expert in cellular health, Dr. Vincent Giampapa.
It's my pleasure, Josh. Thank you. And it's really a pleasure to be here with Healthy Home as well. One of the most important things is to be surrounded by people and groups who are focused on innovation and new technologies. And that's really my goal. And I know that's one of the major goals for Healthy Home as well.
Yeah. So to set the stage, I would love to share with
Mhm.
all of our viewers, what is your background? How'd
Yeah.
you get started in this?
Well, I've been a plastic surgeon for 39 years.
Yeah.
About halfway through my career, I really started to question, why do certain people age quicker and other people age much, much better?
Yeah.
So that really piqued my interest into looking at what's happening below the skin.
Yeah.
Because what we're doing here is tightening the skin and really not doing anything to work at the origin of aging. And right about the same time that this whole interest hit me is my dad passed away at a very early age from an age-related disease. And that really was the final kind of push to help me literally turn my practice off and dive into what aging was all about. So that's how I got started. At that time also, we began collecting stem cells from people because this was a whole new area. Stem cells really were not in the forefront at the moment because people were collecting the stem cells from their children when they're born from their umbilical cords. So my thought was, why wouldn't we collect stem cells from adults or even older people? And, people are very inquisitive and they start to ask questions. And I got to be asked a lot of questions about people who are in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Why would I collect my stem cells if they're this old? And from what I understand, they're not really that valuable. So I had to answer that question.
Yeah.
So the best way to answer that was with a research program that actually showed we could take old stem cells and turn them back into young stem cells. There was an interesting experiment that was done early on when I was doing this a number of years ago where we took a young mouse and sewed it to an old mouse. They shared the blood vessels system and the old mouse got younger. And that's still a classic experiment published in the medical journals. So there was something in the young blood that actually made the old mouse turn young again. So that kind of was how this all got started. So I figured out a way, and this was at Rutgers University with the stem cell team there, to take old stem cells and turn them back into young stem cells. But we didn't sew people back together. What we did do is put young stem cells and old stem cells together in a special culture dish. And the products of the young stem cells we identified, and that's what turned the old stem cells back into young stem cells.
Wow, that is remarkable. So I know you've published a lot of books. You've
Yeah.
also, it was this part of the work where you were nominated for a
Yeah.
Nobel Prize?
Yeah, so I had the opportunity, I got invited to be one of the keynote speakers at the Vatican.
Wow.
And this is going back again about 2016. That's where I did this initial presentation. And that actually jump-started a number of other key groups to look into what we were doing. And that actually led eventually to a Nobel Prize nomination in Sweden.
Wow.
When I presented this again just 6 months later.
Wow. Okay. So I don't want to brush over the fact that you said you presented at the Vatican.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, yeah, that's another little story itself. And you have a moment, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So I was one of the first presenters. And as I presented my presentation, which was about 20 minutes, normally there's a little, people will clap and then the next person goes on. But in the front of the audience were the 7 cardinals. And as soon as I finished, the head cardinal stood up and looked at me and said, "Young man, why would you want to let people live longer? That's against God's will." Now you can imagine the position I was in. How do I tell the cardinal he doesn't know what he's talking about, or he's wrong, in front of 20 cameras that are sending this out globally?
Yeah.
So there's moments in your life where you are looking for divine intervention. And I figured, I'm in the Vatican, let's hope that happens. And so what really happened was it suddenly hit me that what I should say.
Yeah.
And so I looked at, I said, Your Holiness, this isn't about having people really live longer. It's about having them stay healthier longer. And at that time, I happened to see a picture, one of the Da Vinci pictures behind him. And I said, what would have the world been like if Da Vinci lived another decade or two, or Botticelli, or Michelangelo, or even Mozart? What would they have given humanity? And again, there was about 10 or 15 seconds of silence, and he started to clap, and the whole audience started to clap. But those are moments in your life you never forget, but you also learn from.
Yeah, I mean, I just hearing it,
Yeah.
I'm sweating bullets
Yeah.
for you. I couldn't imagine that
Right.
that awkward silence, but that's what a great response. And really, Healthy Home, that's our
exactly
mission, right? We want
Yeah.
people to feel better in their own bodies, and not
Yeah.
only for themselves, but for everyone within their family, all their loved ones.
I know.
Like that's a key mission. One of our
Yeah.
flagship products is a stem cell activator. So how does that interact with our stem cells?
Yeah, see, stem cells are one of the 9 hallmarks of aging. And frankly, in my mind, probably the most important one, because all the other hallmarks prior to that lead to loss of stem cells.
Okay.
So those hallmarks are things that happen inside your cell, and as those happen over time, it causes a loss of stem cell number. So the product that Healthy Home now has is a product that is all natural ingredients, but allows the stem cells, which normally sit in the bone marrow, to be released into the circulation, where they can then do their regenerative, restorative properties and help not only your cells, but your organs and tissues to function more optimally and function on a more youthful level.
Awesome. I mean, that is remarkable. I'm excited to dive into more of the science of this. We are thrilled to be partnering with such a brilliant mind. Your wealth of knowledge is intimidating, to say the least.
See, when you find your purpose, passion, and you surround yourself with the right people, great things happen.
Well, we are excited to be surrounding ourselves with the likes of yourself. We're excited as well for everyone on this call. You're going to have the opportunity to hear some amazing trainings in the future. We're going to partner with Dr. Vincent Giampapa as one of our scientific advisory board members to establish not only future product lines, but really training on our current products, how they interact with your current systems, and how they can improve your health. Really, this is truly an honor.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to come on board. I think we're going to do great things.
Oh, I know we will.